Okay, Wayne? Well, guess I'll start. Everyone,
was
welcome
weird.
to Well, I thought you was gonna start.
We good?
Yeah, since you were hosting the show, I thought you were gonna.
I was just fixing my
I can
light.
start it. Welcome everyone to the first episode of Talking Elite. Now, this is a big new show for us, but there's also a reason why the show is awesome and big, because thanks to the man here, Connor, gave us this wonderful podcast for us to give us a wonderful conversation. Happy 1 year anniversary, y'all. It is the All Elite Zone's 1 year anniversary, and so you good? Do you guys get all that?
Bits and pieces.
Sort of. You were moving so much, I think it was throwing you off.
Yo, what's up?
What is the?
Oh boy. Well, yes, this is our 1 year anniversary show.
There we go.
I'm so excited to have.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Dang it, Aiden.
Wayne, you're frozen.
All right, we good? Okay. All right. So, and I'm so glad you guys. My first started. We good? Do I need to restart?
Is my internet messed up or is it everybody else's?
No, because I'm
Mine's fine.
Yeah, mine's.
We'll fix that editing later. I think we're good. Okay, I think we're good now. We good? All right. So, welcome everyone. So, to get this started in a very positive note, what has been your guys' favorite streaming moment you guys have had on the show this year?
Wow. I think it might be Carly. I don't know. I think
Carly
fell asleep.
Yeah.
I guess. Did we even have an opening? Because I think at first we. Well, this is how the first episode went. This podcast.
Of course.
It was a bad night that night. We had Just Incredible. That showed us. It was a big mess. So this is a recap of that first episode.
Yeah.
no, but we're talking about favorite moments. I think for me, I would say getting to talk to Sabu. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm still jealous of that one. How was that interview? Was he like one of your first interviews with the podcast, Aiden?
Yeah, that was mine. I
was
can't remember if there was another one, but my availability is not the best, so that's why that was the first and I think the only one that I've gotten to do. So
Yeah.
but I love Sabu. I love his work. I love ECW. So that was very cool for me.
Mine's gonna have to be something involved with Chris. One night we were. I can't remember which one it was, but we were talking about something. Then somehow Old Dog or Road Dog got involved, and we were talking about something, and Chris and Road Dog had a falling out. I don't know what it was about, but apparently Chris tried to get into his daughter's head or something, and it was the whole thing.
What?
We went on like 15 minutes, like busting out laughing. I think Adam was here for that. We were just busting out laughing at this whole story, and that was something else. Anything with Chris is something else.
I think I have two favorite moments. Streaming was obviously the first episode I was on with you guys. I think it was a live episode of Dynamite Reactions. It was a Dynamite React show. And then two was the Alex Shelley interview. I think that was a really cool time with all of us getting to ask him questions and everything like that. So mean, so far, I've only been in on since March. I've actually enjoyed my time doing all this with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just great to
What
have a
about you, Carly?
community of people to actually talk to about it.
Yeah. Definitely one of the most positive things I've been a part of in wrestling in a while. Like, you guys really do make it a lot of fun each week that we have this show. So, what about you, Carly? What's been your favorite part of being part of the podcast? If she can hear me.
I think my internet's being like really slow. So if I'm breaking up, just somebody send me a message.
Well, you're not breaking up. We can hear you. Your video just keeps freezing.
Oh,
Yeah, we can hear
Jesus.
you.
Connecticut internet for you. But yeah, I think one of my favorite streaming times was when we were doing the Dynamite review. I think me and Connor we were just dying laughing through some of them. We had some really funny ones, and all of our Marina Shafir moments that we were laughing about. And I think I loved the interview we had with Bryce Remsburg. That was one of my favorite interviews we did. He was such a nice guy, and it was so interesting. He really let us in on a lot of things that I didn't really realize that the refs did, and a lot of interesting aspects of his role. And he was so nice. Like, he was such a chill dude. That was super fun. Like, it didn't even feel like an interview. I wasn't nervous. It just felt like talking to somebody.
So
If we're gonna
it felt
go
almost
off
like
on
organic for him to get off with it, have a good organic conversation with him. And then, I bet to sit down with him, like, to have that insight from a referee perspective, that's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I think for myself, one of the things that I enjoyed this year was Matt Taven. He was my first interview. He was super nice. I did like learning about how he wears purple because of his uncle that had cancer. So I really do like that touch. And then, of course, my other favorite part was this was just a one that happened recently, but when I took over the Rampage stream, and it was just an awkward show with just Chris and I, but it was so much fun. And then just going, it's time for the main event, like 10 times in a row, just to get a reaction out of him. And it was just a weird, fun night, but I just love that new inside joke we have. So yeah, that's got to be one of my favorite moments too.
I'm gonna take question to say Chris in mind, but I'm gonna go with the Buddy Matthews interview.
That was a good one.
Talking to Buddy Matthews, and yeah, I have to go with Buddy Matthews. Getting to talk to him.
That's another big name that I'm glad that you're able to get for the show. So for those of you guys that don't know, I'm going to ask Connor this. So Connor, how did you come up with the All Elite Zone podcast idea? Like, what inspired you to come on board and start the show and give now your huge AEW AZ family? Like, how did you come up with the idea to give us this platform and start your own podcast?
This was in the making of 2018. I had this idea. I got into Impact Wrestling, and I would say 2018 I got into Impact. As WWE was going through the shits, and never was coming back. So I tried watching Impact. Basically, everyone who's in AEW now came from Impact. Brian Cage, Ethan Page, Lucha Bros, Santana and Ortiz. There's others. But Impact, to me, started getting a little sour. It was, I guess, around when Tessa Blanchard won the Impact World title, and then people started to leave Impact, and then the stuff came out about Tessa, and then it was. But then in 2018, at the end, there was rumors of AEW. But at first, I think it was like Jericho, Jim Ross, and Shad Khan was having a promotion together. And Jim Ross is like, I'm not running my own wrestling company, but it was actually AEW. I'll say 2021, I got back into watching Impact through the pandemic a little bit. And I had this idea. Like, I want to help support AEW, and I want to see them grow. So I had the idea. I like the Impact Zone, and I like AEW. So the All Elite Zone is how I came up with the zone part in this on this podcast. It came a little bit off this other podcast, Total Nonstop Impact. I should mention them first. Their layout of like an Impact podcast, but doing it in their own style, but just an AEW, all AEW podcast. I had that. I had that mindset because I really like their podcast and I like how they had it set up and all that. And basically going off the Impact Zone, I love the name the Impact Zone. And when TNA was in the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida, I love the Impact Zone. So I thought, and AEW did not start it first because I had AEW Dark, then Universal Studios, where TNA was, and all Elite Zones. We started it first, and I've got trademarked. So luckily they can't take that. But I got it from Total Nonstop Impact. Bill's came on here a few times from that podcast. But I basically got it from the Total Nonstop Impact and watching Impact Wrestling. Yeah, I guess that's how it came to be.
Yeah, it's you definitely came a long ways as a producer and the showrunner. You've had what 3 or 4 shows a week at this point right now. We have almost 300 subscribers. So that's a very big accomplishment, and thank you so much for getting this started for us. So thanks, Connor.
Thank you, Connor.
And also just shout out to all you guys too. Like, you guys are always super kind and trying to get us, each one of us to be better each week. So I'm very thankful you guys will be able to be part of the show. So next question for y'all. So what match this year has been your favorite standout match that we've watched together? Is there one that kind of strikes out, or a specific moment that you guys are like, dang, I'm so glad we watched that together?
Is it cool if I start?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My I don't know. I'm trying to open up my little tab that I have all my wrestling matches in, but the first one that comes to my mind is the Acclaimed versus Swerve in Our Glory at All Out this year, because very few wrestling matches, at least for me, I'm able to actually question if what I know is going to happen. I knew that going into that one that Swerve and Keith Lee were going to retain, but while watching it, I was blown away, and I really thought that the Acclaimed had a good chance of winning, especially once Max Caster lifted Keith Lee. It's just matches like that that make you realize, oh man, they might be able to do it. For me, another one that felt a lot like that was Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan in 2018. One that you really don't know who's going to win.
Yeah.
So for me, I have to go Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory.
I gotta go with you too, man. I mean, I'm with you on that because that was special right there. Because the storytelling itself, I mean, it was there organically, and how over they were, and I mean that night the whole thing was special. And then whenever they won, the crowd went nuts. That pop was it was up there with the Stone Cold Steve Austin pop. It was that big. So yeah, I'm with you on that one, Eddie.
I'm going to stick with you guys in the same realm of tag team wrestling. There's been a lot of good tag matches this year in AEW, and I love the emphasis on tag team wrestling. I think it's probably one of my favorite things in pro wrestling is tag team wrestling. But I have to go way back to Revolution, and it'd have to be that triple threat match with the Jungle Boy and Lucha versus Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. For some reason, that triple threat tag match just blew me away. I enjoyed the chemistry with all 6 guys in the ring. I mean, I don't know why, but it brought me back to all the TLC matches in the WWE, with the Hardys and with Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boys. So that kind of gave me reminiscence of those kind of early days of those kind of triple threat tag team matches and everything like that. And I just enjoy tag wrestling. I really do. I like one-on-one matches because the storytelling's there too. But I also like tag wrestling because the story is even more because now you got two guys involved with two other guys, and now everything like you could bring more stuff into it. So I think that's why I like tag team wrestling so much.
Yeah, tag team, like I said, especially in AEW, that's one thing I'm glad they're still focusing on and haven't, changed or gone back with, back on. That's one thing I think they separate themselves from Impact or WWE because of that, because of the specifics. We have a stacked, we still do. We still have one of the best, stacked tag team, on the roster with FTR, House of Black, Bucks. We have a lot of great tag team wrestling. Connor, what about you? Like, what's been something that's been like a match that stood out to you this year?
Does ROH count as AEW?
Yeah, well, they're under their banner now, so yeah.
ROH, Death Before Dishonor. FTR versus the Briscoes 2 out of 3 falls. Everyone expecting the main event to be Gresham versus Claudio, but switched basically the reverse. That match was when you thought it was over. Like it took them like 30 minutes just to have the one fall, have the 2 out of 3 falls. Like 30 minutes just to get that one fall. And then I thought Briscoes was gonna win the whole thing, but and Dax and Cash like have all these injuries from like shoulder injuries. Cash Wheeler's hand, I believe, on a Dynamite, he like cut it real bad or something in a match.
That was
like,
gruesome.
And they keep going and going and going and going, and like they have no stop. And they went through tables in this match, and like when you think that they're not going to kick out, and the crowd reaction was so good. FTR this year, I don't care what the Pro Wrestling Illustrated, the Usos, FTR is tag team of the year. They put so many banger tag team matches. The only thing the Usos have done is win against the New Day, like that 1,000th time, and maybe the Street Profits. But this match, like this coming up, Saturday, FTR versus Briscoes 3 in a tag team dog collar match.
Collar match.
I feel like FTR and the Briscoes are going to have the tag team feud of this decade.
I agree.
I'll see best of 3 series this year.
I'll see a FTR and Briscoes still cage match in the one day, a parking lot match, a street fight. I see all kinds of stipulations over these next few years. But I'm going FTR versus Briscoes 2 at Death Before Dishonor.
That was a good one. I would have to go. I think for me, just because I'm a huge Darby Allin fan, so I'm gonna have to go with Darby Allin and CM Punk with having Punk's first match back. Like I thought Punk looked great in it. Darby, of course, his crazy bumps and selling really tied the match together, and especially to give Punk, basically a huge welcome back, and to see almost like a passing of the torch. I feel like that's. Yeah. I mean, that's not necessarily the right word, but I think, Darby Allin, I think he will be as big as CM Punk is, and just the match, his promo, just him calling out Darby as soon as he debuted, that was probably my favorite. Like that was probably my favorite segment, and then into a match of the year.
We're talking about 21 or 22.
Was it 22? No, it was 21, huh? Wasn't it? Dang, my brain's old. Well, then I'm gonna go. Okay. If we're gonna go 2022, then I'm gonna go with. I'll go with my second favorite match of the year. I'm gonna have to go with Danielson, and I'm gonna have to go with Danielson versus Dax Hardwood.
That
match,
great choice.
That was a good match.
I literally thought I was watching an old WCW match. It just felt like an old school classic wrestling match, and it just had all the bells and whistles, good near falls, and it made both wrestlers look strong.
I mean, you could say the same thing about the Danielson versus Daniel Garcia 2 out of 3 falls. I thoroughly enjoyed that one too. I mean, that was just pure wrestling right banger. There, and I loved it.
All right, so
Miss Carly, how about you? What was your favorite match of this year?
Oh, match of this year? I don't know. I'm trying to think. I think I've spent so much time being angry over matches that didn't come out how I wanted that I didn't focus on the good things. I spent a lot of time being mad about it. I did because the Lucha Brothers and The Young Bucks, the cage match, that was 2021, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That was the year
Yeah.
before,
I believe so.
yeah.
that was a good match though.
I know
That
it's
was
still
a
the one that
match.
sticks out so much in my head. Yeah, I'm with Aiden on the Acclaimed and Swerve in Our Glory, even though I was like so upset about that match where they Swerve in Our Glory retained. It was one of those matches that had the magic, you know. I think we were talking about that in the
Yeah.
group chat afterwards about the magic. I wish
They-
Tony kind of
yeah.
called the audible and you know, had the Acclaimed win because they were just so over in that moment. But
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know who was going to win, and it's really so rare where you just don't know. And it was the magic was there. It was up there in those matches where you're suspended in that
Yeah.
belief that
Had
wrestling
that
is
big fight
real.
feel.
Yeah.
Yep, that it could be anybody's game, and yeah, I bought it in that moment.
Do you ever wonder if like Tony did that one on purpose just to see if the Acclaimed would be over enough to get the titles? Because I
I
feel
wouldn't
like
put it
that
past
gave
him.
him. I feel like
I
that gave
don't think
momentum into that
so.
title win because I don't know, like, 'cause think about the Scissor Me Daddy Ass, like they've been over with that. Of course, next caster with his raps, like, you know,
Mhm.
but I think to see how they would react like in a big championship bout like that, and then shortly after to be able to get those tag titles, like, you know, I'm always curious to pick his brain. I would love to pick his brain and see what he was thinking about it.
I
I
think
honestly think it was the original plan. I feel, in my opinion, it was the original plan for Swerve and Our Glory to retain. But I don't think Tony understood that. Holy crap! I probably should have went with the Acclaim because of that overall reaction that Swerve and Our Glory got compared to what the Acclaim got afterwards. You know, the Acclaim took off and they got that fan feedback and got that crowd behind them so much that Tony just thought to himself, "Okay, we'll do round two, and I'll
Yeah.
have the Acclaim win." I just feel like in that moment, it was the original scripted plan for Swerve and Our Glory to retain.
But they were just so natural and just with the fan reaction that he had to continue
I
that
think
story to have them win.
I
I
think
think
at
it's
that
proof that he
time,
does listen to the fans.
I think
Oh
at that
yeah,
time, Swerve and Glory just won the tag belts. Like they just won them,
it
and
wasn't too far away from their win.
yeah, they just won them.
Mhm.
So I know Tony doesn't like for some, regardless of the TNT title situation. Normally he doesn't like to like take the belts off of someone right then and there. Likes to give them a little bit with the have a good decent run. Um, yeah, they Swerve and Glory and the Acclaim has had a great series of matches this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Most definitely.
I feel like the Acclaim definitely have been like they should
From
be on that tag team of the year list. You know, just somewhere around there, or at least they're like the most. I think they're most improved wrestlers. Yeah, at least at least most improved tag team of the year. I'm sorry, I cannot speak tonight.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair.
I was thinking that too. I was finishing up Wednesday's Dynamite tonight before I got on the show, and I was thinking how much they had improved. They looked really good against FTR. FTR did a good job putting them over.
I mean,
I think
you
one
got to
thing that
remember, you got to remember that Tony put Max and
I was about to
oh
just
my
say
god,
this.
I can't even think of names right now. It's
Bowens.
yeah, thank you. Oh
Bowens.
yeah, Bowens. I put Max and Bowens together like just out of the blue, and they came up with a gimmick that just ran, and it just worked for them. And you know they got heat in the beginning, but then they turned that corner of becoming a face tag team, and the fans just got behind it. And I think it's just a natural ability for someone like that, for two people to just come together and say, "Hey, how can we make this work? We're teaming together. How can we make this work as a team? What's our shtick? What's our gimmick? You know, what are some of our move sets? What's our finishers called? Like our tag team finisher." And then they're coming out to rap the rap songs, like rapping coming out. So what's our finishing move? The mic drop. Like it's
Right.
perfect. They roll with it, and that just shows the genius of how Bowens and Caster just work together as a team naturally.
One thing that
Exactly.
I think one thing that I know Bully Ray taught me this trick. So there was a saying that he had out there that you can tell when a wrestler is over by just closing your eyes and just listening to how the crowd reaction. If you would have closed your eyes, you would have you heard how over not just FTR was, but the Acclaim were again just as loud as Chance, or if not louder, last night. Like you could definitely tell that the fans were 100% behind the Acclaimed. It felt almost like a Madison Square Gardens or like a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania type match. So to have just to be able to witness that, I wish I was there live for it. That's how I love that match. So
the thing is that it wasn't shoved down our throats. It was all organic. It was all on its own. It
wasn't like a Jade or a Reigns kind of title run or title push. That's one thing that I have to admit. We at least have a little more organic things when it comes to Dynamite. So, Rampage, other story. But the other thing I was going to ask you guys said.
I was just going to mention apparently Tony Khan's going to start beefing up the Rampage cards.
Needs to.
Well, I feel like the one tomorrow looks actually really promising.
John Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita is going to be insane.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
Dude, it's going to be a straight just strong style fight.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, but what were you saying before I interrupted?
Oh no, I was just kind of segue into who do you think has been the most improved wrestlers this year? If you guys could who comes to mind when you say, man, I'm so glad this guy got better this year, or oh my gosh, this guy killed it this year, or lady.
I know who it's not. I'm not saying that either.
You know who it's not.
Come on, you gotta have, you can't leave the comment section empty. They gotta
I know what you're gonna say.
I kind of have a sense who you're gonna say. So
now, thing is, this may not be a popular opinion, but I honestly think Jade has gotten better. She has gotten better over time.
I agree with
I just watched the Dynamite match, and it was not that much better. It's really not.
I wasn't gonna say.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
And I wasn't gonna say Jade.
To each his own. I mean, I think she's gotten a little better over time.
Yeah, her matches hype up. It makes me okay, I'll watch this match because she's able to put that hype into it. And then I never come out thinking oh, that was a great match. But I'm still okay, it was serviceable. That's what I always think whenever I watch a match. Which obviously, you shouldn't be talking about. You shouldn't be talking about that match is serviceable when talking about a wrestler. But for Jade, I feel like she's able to carry her hype so well that it masks a lot of the flaws of her matches.
When I was growing up,
she's better than she was day one. Put it like that.
Yeah, big time.
And I'm 5'8", and my gymnastics coach would say, when you mess up, it's more noticeable because you're very tall, And I feel that way with Jade. It's she takes up so much presence in the ring that when she's not performing very well, it's just so noticeable. Unlike some Kira Hogan sized person, where it's if you kind of flub up, you can hide it a little bit better, and it's just Jade's greenness just shines so bright. Her size.
I think if she didn't have that TBS championship, I think people would be talking about her at least in a more positive light.
Yeah,
is she overrated? Yes. I mean, I will say she is overrated, but she has improved.
I mean, do I love everything that she does? I mean, obviously, the money bikini, it was amazing. Her outfits and everything, it's great. I love everything about her. It's just I wish she wrestled a little better.
I'm gonna go for most improved.
No, go ahead, Counter.
I was gonna say my most improved wrestler. God, I had him. Someone else go.
Because I have two, because I'm going to do one in the male division and one in the female division. That's how I kind of want to do it. Male division, since breaking off as a tag team, I love the kid to death. And you guys heard me talk about him last night during our Dynamite reaction, but Jungle Boy. I am telling you, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, over this past year alone, has really grown into a great single competitor. And I love his character arc where he has to get the monkey off his back, or in this case, the dinosaur, I mean, I'm still waiting for that solid one-on-one match with Christian Cage. I mean, I really hope they have it pay off. I mean, because it's just been a long storytelling. Fortunately, Christian Cage being hurt doesn't help. But I honestly think Jungle Boy Jack Perry has really improved as a singles competitor since he broke away from Luchasaurus as a tag team. as Jungle Express and or Jurassic Express. Sorry. So I honestly think he's my most improved this year. For females, you guys might be shocked on who I say it, but it's the current women's champion, Jamie Hayter. I honestly think I know she's still tied down with the whole Rebel and Britt Baker, but my God, when that girl gets in the ring, she is a worker. She's a hard hitter. I mean, we saw it with the match with Toni Storm, throwing elbows. That both of them just going hardcore on each other, like in that match, just pounding each other. I mean, she broke Tony's nose for Christ's sake in that match at Full Gear.
Yeah.
And honestly, I remember because reading about her and Tony roomed together a lot, especially during quarantine time during COVID. I mean, they've done indies together. I mean, they've wrestled each other on the indies, so they know each other very well. So when you put them in that ring in AEW in that match blew me away. And yes, I agree. I think Jamie should have won that title at that Fatal 4-Way match instead of Full Gear. The crowd was ready for it, and now I'm just waiting for her to break away from Britt and Rebel and do her own thing. But yeah, those are my two improved wrestlers. So
good answers.
I agree with that one. That those are. Oh, sorry, Mr. Jacobs. All right, Mr. Jacobs, do you want to go?
Oh, I just went.
Is it cool if I do mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
For mine, even though I was agreeing that Jade, I was just defending Jade. Jade's not my pick for this. This one, I have two. First one is Billy Stark's been really fun to watch on the indies. I think she's only 18 years old, which is just insane. So much room for improvement there. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she's really young.
Yeah. Nick Wayne is also up there. He's just going to keep getting better and better. I cannot wait until he's in AEW. But for my number one definitive pick, Sky Blue. It's probably because I'm biased because she's from Chicago. And
that's my pick.
No, that was a pick. My bad.
I got someone else now. I got someone.
But Sky Blue has been consistently improving in every single match. Sky Blue carried that the 3-versus-3 match on Dynamite.
Yeah.
So,
she sure
becoming a ring general, clearly pairing her up with these veterans is working. It needs to keep doing that. I want to see Sky Blue paired with Ruby Soho. I want to see her paired with Madison Rain more. Just keep pairing with veterans, and I think it'll be good.
Good answers.
I guess I'll go. Women's, I'm going to go with Julia Hart. Varsity Blondes, I'm glad they it was good for while it lasted. It was mainly to help Brian Pillman and Griff Garrison the most, really. And even Brian Pillman admitted that. But ever since she's joined the House of Black, I think Malachi's turned her character up a notch. In a good way. Like, she's only 20, maybe 19, 20 years old right now, maybe 21.
Yeah, she's pretty young.
And she's had this amazingly character switch, and her in-ring, even from her dark matches, her in-ring skills are getting better. They're quick matches, but she's improving over time. And I think in a few years she might be a women's champion. The next few years. But I'm glad she's paired with someone like Malachi and Buddy Matthews and Brody King to really take her to that next step of her career. And because she wasn't going to get that in the Varsity Blondes. She wasn't going to get that. But for I guess for male, I'm going to go with Daniel Garcia. He came to AEW around 2021, I believe, on Dark. But over time, he got paired with 2.0. On Dark, he really made a statement. He was on Dynamite a few times and proved himself. But I'm going with Julia Hart and Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, I think those are nice. You guys have had some very solid picks. I think for us, that have stood out to me this year have been, I know, Wheeler Yuta, pairing him with Mox, and Danielson, Fabio. He's just, like I said, it looks great every week. Feels like his promos are really coming up to where I think I think he could break off eventually and be a good TNT champion or be a champion in Ring of Honor. He's got a really good presence about him. And I'm going to actually probably really agree with Jamie Hayter. You know, she's really stepped up. I know partnering her with Britt was a great idea, and I think now that she's coming out of Britt's shadow, I think she'll have a great women's championship run. I think it's going to have us forget about the interim stuff and forget about Thunder Rosa's injury in that run. I think she will put that championship back on that pedestal where, you know, Sheeta and where, you know, Riho at a time, and then have where Baker had it before she lost it. You know,
Hey, I
think
thought
those-
that I thought Tony Storm had a good reign.
Well,
Champion.
I forgot. Well, because they announced
And I'm
officially
glad,
a Tony Storm champion.
Yes, I'm glad. I put it on. Well, I talked to Tony. I was like, you gotta make Tony Storm like she lost, and then you put Jamie Hayter as a champion, and she did nothing. So I'm glad that they're recognizing her as an official women's champion instead of an interim champion. I hope they never do that again with any title. You have to move on. That's like Seth Rollins got injured in WWE. He had his ACL. So he was out for like 7 to 9 months. Having an interim champion that long. But
We're not the UFC. We're not MMA. Like we can't have an interim champion.
But I also wanted to comment. Storm versus. It was definitely the best. One of the best women's pay-per-view matches in AEW history.
It was a great match.
Like being there live. I've never seen in person. I never experienced a women's match like that. Like the crowd that into it. Like
I kind of agree and disagree with David on that one. It was probably the best match this year, but in history, I don't think
not
so.
history.
It was the lights out match with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa was by far. And then a close second to that was the street fight between Buddy and Penelope Ford versus Tay Mello and what was that other? It was I can't think of her name.
Anna Jay.
Anna Jay, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, that street fight between those two matches,
that was a good match.
This women's championship match was, I'm sorry, a very close third, but those two matches are by far the two best matches in AEW women's matches. History.
Agree.
So, I mean, that's my opinion.
Like, it's hard to think. It's hard to think.
My most improved is 5-star Matt Menard, Daddy Magic.
Daddy Magic, yes. He's so over this year.
Okay, yeah.
Let me tell you, last year he's in Dorky 2.0 with their, as we said, with their silly painted vest. I thought they were so lame. And then this year is like the best part of the JAS. So like every promo they do, I'm like, is Daddy Magic there? He was in like he got in the 5-star match. What was it? The stadium. I can't even remember. Was it Blood and Guts? I forget which one got 5 stars. But when he was at it with Eddie Kingston that whole time, it's definitely as far as characters go. And I think Danhausen is on the trajectory to be improved as well. Like he didn't do much wrestling this year after injury, but I think going into next year, this evil Danhausen with the teeth is just, it's great. So, and then I keep an eye out for Hook too.
Yeah, Carly loves that.
No, I agree with you, on Carly, on the Danhausen. That when they reintroduced him as evil Danhausen with the teeth and the makeup, I popped so hard. Like you have no idea, because I loved all his indie matches when he had the teeth and he had the face and the no swearing and all this stuff and being aggressive. And it's just so awesome to see him bring that old shtick back too.
You know, it's one of those things that it's so weird how Danhausen gets over, but man, especially like him and Hook. Like that would be a pairing I never thought would work, but I was very entertained by Hookhausen. And then I'm kind of going a little bit off in our separate ways, but you know what? It was great. It was a great comical, story, and sometimes you kind of need that in wrestling.
Kind of reminds me of the Rock and Sock connection.
Yeah, or Booker T and Goldust,
Oh God, I forgot that team.
You guys remember when Goldust got shocked and he was stuttering for like months?
Oh yeah, Batista and Randy threw him into the power source.
Oh my God, he started stuttering for like the whole year.
What is there like a funny segment this year that you're thinking why is this getting over? Like why? Like, but you're just having a great time with it. Was there like any segments for you guys that it just stood out like that to you guys? Were like, man, I love this. I want to see more of this.
I'm talking segment of the year. It might be. It has to. If I'm talking about like the best segments, yeah, probably something in the MJF versus Punk saga. Those were just
Mhm.
too amazing. But if I'm trying to think of an underrated segment, that's really difficult. But just probably anything Ricky Starks has said. That man he's so good on the microphone.
Did you watch
Like,
his promo from last night?
Yeah.
I did. I watched Dynamite probably about like an hour ago. I just finished it. And that man has eviscerated MJF on the microphone. I've never like MJF is usually the one who wins, but
Mm.
he definitively lost in my opinion, which was crazy to me. And I'm very excited for their match.
Right. He literally put over. I've never seen MJF do this, but putting someone else over in a promo battle with MJF, that was a great call.
It's crazy that MJF is able to put people over, and he's like 26 years old. Has been in this business for no time relative to other wrestlers, and here he is putting people over already.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks hasn't been in the pro wrestling game for as long as other members of the wrestling community. But I agree with you because Busted Open Radio was praising how Starks went so over MJF because they usually say MJF's really good on the mic, but man, they said Starks just outdid him on that microphone last night. And I got to agree with you, Aiden. That segment on the mic was great. But if we're talking about like segments on TV, and I know we keep talking about him, but like that's just ridiculous. But it gets over anytime Danhausen is with Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. I don't know why, but that gets over every time with the crowd, and it gets me over because I love the pairing of Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. Like I don't know why those two work well together. Like because it's like Orange Cassidy's just like so laid back, and Danhausen's just wild. But I mean, between that and then anytime. I don't know if there's a lot of interview segments I can say that really intrigued me this year, but like I said, anytime that Danhausen is on TV with Best Friends and Orange Cassidy, or heck, I guarantee you, any vignette of the House of Black is by far. They're already over, but I get chills every time I see a vignette of House of Black. So just every time, and that's over every vignette. They don't even have to. They come out. They're kind of like I'll go off of what Mr. Jacobs had to say with Roman Reigns, wreck everyone and leave. So it's like what the House of Black is. We come out, we'll beat the crap out of everybody, and then we're gone.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they do too.
Criminally underrated. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Carly.
I was gonna say, like criminally underrated hilarity is Nyla Rose. Whenever she gets on the mic, she's funny with her surprise bitch. Honestly. Oh my god. Like there were so many missed opportunities for her to come at Jade during their little feud that I was upset she didn't get more mic time. And then like Taz gets me on commentary with the yam bags. Like if you gotta catch the yam, it's become like this running joke with my wrestling group chat that I have. We're like yam bag Yahtzee is our group name now. It's just whenever it's like the yam bag region, the yam bag region area, yam bag city, yam bag Yahtzee. Like anytime I hear yam bag reference, I'm just done. I live for it. I live for Taz on commentary.
Taz has been very great this year.
Yeah, especially on Dark. The dude's hilarious. I think for me, I think as far as underrated, segments and also on the microphone, I think people forget about Kingston. The dude, he is fire on the microphone. Oh, so underrated. I believe so.
I still don't believe through the nuts. And was it Miro's face he threw the nuts, or was it Punk?
It was Miro.
That was Miro.
Because it was redeemed.
These nuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
His thing before Full Gear when he's just like, I got all this time to talk right now, and then he's talking, like putting over the pay-per-view, and then he goes, "Oh, they told me my time's up. Peace out," and he just
right. I loved it, man. I'm popped for that.
He's like Deadpool. He just breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about it. He is great on the mic, and people tend to sleep on him, man. But seriously, he's something on that microphone, and you know that when he picks it up, he's gonna say something poignant. He's gonna say something that's gonna hit, and that will put you in that seat to watch.
Yeah. Ethan says, "Happy 1 year anniversary."
Josh Barrett. He's from he was talking about from Winnipeg, Canada. I believe Josh. that was asking when they were coming to Winnipeg, and they're coming next year in I believe March. They're coming
Yeah.
Mhm.
Winnipeg,
Yeah, I think so.
and that
Chris is trying to get rid of it.
shall we?
That show was awesome. Tony Storm.
Yep.
Yep, she was great. I hope she does better next year. Hey, David. Thank you so much.
He was.
Hey, Ethan.
I knew this was gonna come up.
We didn't. Hey, no one mentioned Brody last night. That was like the
Until
first
you
you've had in a
did.
while. Until I did, yes, I brought it up.
Yeah,
but
till
that's
you
okay,
did.
because, you know,
I knew this was
it's
gonna get
part of the
asked.
show.
You go ask him where he's at.
Yeah, ask him, man. Shout out to
Okay.
Brody. We have nothing against him. Just quit bringing him up. Go talk to him.
No,
Oh, I forgot about the Blues Clues with Jericho.
Hey,
don't
Connor,
know,
did you
so
post that?
good.
Or did someone steal your name?
I don't know how. I don't know what that is.
That's a troll.
Uh-oh.
Connor, you have a doppelganger out there or something, man? What's going on?
Apparently so. Anniversary. Oh, that little competition with that.
Dang.
Where's
You guys are
Chris?
savage tonight in the comment section.
Shut up, Ethan.
I don't think that match happened this year or anytime.
I wish. That's a dream match right there.
I'd watch though if
To have 13 3D versus, oh my gosh, versus the Bucks. It'd be like Hardy's and, you know, Christian and
Rock
Edge.
and Roll Express.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is, like I said, this has been just it's been a crazy ride this year. I don't know why, but this has been popping me, and I mentioned this last night. But Jake Hager is an underrated saint of sports entertainment. Like
Him in that
I
hat,
just love
dude.
him in that hat. Like it's just I don't know why, but of late, like it's become one of my favorite moments and segments that he's done this year. I don't know what it is about it, but it's made me laugh and sing it on Twitter and seeing it on Instagram and just him in different situations. I cannot wait to see what he does next with it. Like he's got that dang hat over. You know how many people were wearing those purple bucket hats in attendance last night, and the signs, and dude, like Claudio turned heel last night for like a split second when he punted the hat into the audience.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty good stuff right there, though.
Like seriously, I miss those two as a team. Like I think that would be another cool dynamic to the JS if that happens, but I don't think it's going to. I don't know. It's just weird that it works, but then again, I guess wacky things work in wrestling. Because on paper, looking at Danhausen, Orange Cassidy, on paper, those should not work, right? But looking at how they've got themselves over and took a weird gimmick that either they came up with and just ran with it, and just look at them now.
Yeah.
So that purple hat, man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have one for our vlog next week when I go to Winter's Coming. I'm gonna wear that purple hat loud and proud.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
I mean, when you're working with someone like, to go back to Jake Hager just doing all that. I mean, you go back to someone like working with someone like Chris Jericho. You look at someone like Chris Jericho who constantly reinvents himself, all the time, like every decade. I mean, and I think they were talking about this. You know, Bully Ray and Dave LaGreca and all them on Busted Open. They praise Chris all the time. And I praise him too, because I've been following that man since his ECW transition to WCW days. And so him reinventing himself every year, when you work with someone like that and they give you the keys of, hey, here's how you reinvent yourself. Jake Hager has those keys. Daniel Garcia has those keys. Daddy Magic has those keys. You know, everybody within the JAS has those keys now from Chris Jericho, helping them reinvent themselves through this business. And that's what I love about it. And I love how Jake Hager can get that shtick over.
Especially with Sammy. Like Sammy and Tay have just kind of, they took the heat that was given to him because of the whole, you know, drama with him and his ex. But that to me, it was just funny that they got so much heat about it. They're just super, like, they're almost as obnoxious as the Miz and Maurice are with how much they kiss and make out. Like,
you mean Edge and Lita?
Yeah, Angelina.
Angelina too. Yeah. Well, then again, they didn't do a live sex act yet.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah, I was about the House of Black. like how their video packages are so good and their interest is so good. I was if AEW would have signed Wyndham Rotunda for the Dark Order, and they would have kept Alan Angels and Stu Grayson, a House of Black versus Dark Order cinematic match with how great of a creative person Wyndham is, and Malachi's put over this House of Black thing so good, and AEW's video packages are so good, like a cinematic match of a Wyndham Rotunda Dark Order versus the House of Black would have been, that'd have been a dark cinematic match.
That'd have been fun to
It's
watch
just weird.
right
Like,
there.
I wonder if they actually had talks about it. I wonder how close were they to signing him until Trips took over? Like, was it a
I feel like
possibility, or do you think
Wyndham was Dark Order's last chance to survive? I feel like he was.
But I'm also thinking that he's. I mean, with the price of what you can get him for, I don't know if anyone would have coughed up that much, especially with the hiccups they hit with, with the money to CM Punk and everything's going on with him, and Tony cashing out to all these people he's signing and not really focusing on his homegrown talent. And I think he's realizing that now too. I think, like we all talk about on this podcast, Tony's a really smart business guy. He's a really smart guy. He's starting to figure that out. He's like, I need to focus on my homegrown talent and get them going. Hence, even though, like, I don't know if it's organically or it was playing. I know it was playing, but getting the belt on MJF, putting over people like Jungle Boy Jack Perry, getting Darby Allin out there all the time. Even the female wrestlers. Britt Baker's been there since day one. She's getting people over, getting with Jamie Hayter and Rebel. And I think with Wyndham, I mean. You sign someone like that, you're hitting really hard in your bank account, and now you're in this world where, like, well, now creatively he's got freedom, but where do we go with it?
Because the production value on that would be really
the production
high.
would have been like not even just signing Wyndham, like the production you have to put into that, and they paid MJF a hefty lot of money. In 2024, they're going to be paying him a lot of more money to stay.
Yeah, like I don't think MJF's going anywhere.
I don't think
Another part of it, I think, is that AEW is more sports based, whereas WWE you're able to get away with supernatural and stuff like that. Like House of Black, that's like cutting it really close with AEW's like presentation.
It's not that borderline.
Yeah,
where they can still do the sports and then the entertainment portion.
Whereas like right now, what Bray Wyatt is doing that's so like far gone from what AEW like is fundamentally.
What is he doing right now?
I think he's like he escaped from some kind of a insane asylum, I'm assuming.
So right now, so I'm sorry to cut you off, Aiden. If I think correctly, reading into it, because I have no hate against WWE. Some of their product's good, some of their product is kind of iffy. I'm more loyal to AEW because of the matches they put on, because of the stories that go on. But I'm not against WWE. There's a lot of good stories there, and there's a lot of good matches there. But with Wyndham, I think what they're doing is they're trying to introduce this new story about the Wyndham Six, where they're trying to bring the characters from the Funhouse that he had when he was, Bray Wyatt and The Fiend to life. Like the characters from that Funhouse, like the Witch and all that. Like they're trying to bring them to life and use like wrestlers within the company to portray those characters. So I think that's what's another plan going. And they're kind of introducing like this new character called Uncle Howdy.
Yeah,
and there's been rumors going on. Well, no, and rumors are going on that it's Bo Dallas, his actual brother, plays the character. So they re-signed Bo Dallas, is what I'm hearing.
What I gotta do is believe.
Yeah, and then also they flashed a phone number that if you called it had a message that was a person who was saying they're Bray's psychiatrist and that he's like extremely mentally unstable and he has violent tendencies and everything. So it feels like they're almost doing two stories at once. It feels like there's so much going on with Bray Wyatt. I love Bray Wyatt. So like The Fiend when he debuted, well, not after the Seth Rollins thing, but like he's seeing the concept of what he can become. I was really excited about that.
Yeah,
because
it just wouldn't work in our world of AEW. Look at Broken Matt Hardy. That that just failed. And Tony even admits, like said, he's like, I'm not going to have that happen again unless Matt can figure out a way. Because that whole like teleporting segment did not do AEW justice.
I feel like a lot of the reason that Broken Matt Hardy failed was also because it was during the pandemic, which was
that's true. That it would have helped if there was actual
so much
people there.
it requires so much like fan participation. But
Uh,
yeah, I'm trying to watch wrestling, not play Dungeons and Dragons, and I love Dungeons and Dragons, and there's a time and place for it, but there's it's not during my wrestling.
I know.
That's later. That's tomorrow night's podcast.
I was gonna say, in the Matt Hardy Ethan Page, it looks like Matt Hardy's slowly going back to his broken character. Slowly.
Yes, I watched
Yeah,
clips from that.
I love it.
Last night. He was doing the delete more. He was doing that
With the, like,
that
MJ
mouth
out.
that he did.
With Jeff Hardy being out a little while, this is the perfect time to bring that back. Not
And
knowing
then
what
once
his
Jeff
future
comes
is going
back,
to
you
be.
bring Willow.
I don't know about that.
You know about Willow?
I want to see.
I
Jeff
mean, done the
Hardy
right
get-
way, I think it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Impact just did. I don't know. I both seen Brother Nero than Willow.
Brother.
Yeah, Brother Nero, that was a better character.
Yeah, I enjoyed Brother Nero more.
Yes, I'm down for that. So, is there anything? Do you guys have any goals this year for our podcast? Is there anything that you guys want to, try to do for our show going forward, or is there anything that you guys want to improve on with yourselves? Like, is there something that you guys like vision that you guys see for the podcast, or is there something that you guys want to keep bringing to the table?
For me, it's my attendance on this podcast.
Yeah, same. I want to be on more.
We make 3 and 3, 3 for 3, I guess. So
3 for 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Team,
been really busy.
Come on the podcast more.
yeah,
I've just been busy with like I'm transferring schools right now in the process of that, plus work
Oh,
at
gotcha.
the school, plus
Life
Plus
happens,
classes at the
man. You
school.
know.
yeah, it's painful right now. But I do want to be on more, and I will try during this next semester coming up.
Okay.
I like to
Can't
see
wait
more
for that.
interviews. Us bring in more interviews, and we've done so many great interviews so far. I want to see a lot more that and interview more indie stars and in these stars that are on TV also, and also gain more subscribers through all this. And I mean, make the channel bigger. Just all do it all together.
I'm going to piggyback off what Mr. Jacob said. Not only just indie stars and other star like wrestling stars, but I feel like we could bring on more guests that are in the wrestling community. I keep talking about them, but man, how awesome would it be if we get someone from Busted Open on here and talk
Oh, it'd
to
be
them
awesome to
how they
interview David
how they
Beckham.
got it, and how they got into
Yeah.
it, and where they started, how they grew their stuff. We want to grow something as a podcast. How did they start with their podcast? When did it all begin? Who
Yeah.
had the conception for? You talk to those guys, or you talk to people that have literally been around the wrestling business for so long, and now they just go places. So I mean, that's one goal that I'd love to see for this podcast. So and like Aiden said, I just moved to Florida out of Tennessee, so it's like it's like a whole new thing for me to try to reset myself. So that's why I hadn't been on a lot. But now that I'm starting to settle down here in Florida, I'm able to maybe have time to do more. I mean, I was on last night with Dynamite for like the first time in a while, and now I'm here tonight. And one thing I'm looking forward to is we talked about last night is the Ken Shamrock interview. Next week.
That's
Like, I am
amazing.
stoked for that. I'm very stoked for that. I've been
Yeah.
a Ken Shamrock fan since he was in mixed martial arts.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
gonna be
Connor,
great.
what about you?
I don't know how to say it without I mean, there's this I don't know how to say it with this. I'm not going to say it. I guess I don't know. As a creator,
I mean, it's your baby, Connor. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
something.
it's
it's something.
understandable.
yeah.
It's understandable that
It is
it's kind of speechless, man.
I guess I mean, I want to get a lot of superheroes on here, if you know what I mean. I mean, there's a guy who carries a snake. Someone O'Reilly.
Yeah, I see
I
where
guess-
you're going with that.
I think O'Reilly.
Parts?
O'Reilly. Like O'Reilly engine parts, or I don't know. His name's O'Reilly.
Rally engine parts.
Is to get O'Reilly on here.
I think that would be awesome. I think if we keep doing what we're doing and just keep promoting the show, tweeting it, I think if we keep doing what we're doing, I think we'll keep growing. And Connor has been great about getting it promoted every week. He's always on top of everything and just putting in the work. There's a lot of behind the scenes that you don't see that Connor does. Like, he makes our wonderful match graphics. For us, he does. He does that. He makes sure that he's reaching out to different guests potentially. He's doing he's doing a lot of work. So if you guys can leave Connor a thank you in the comment section, show him your appreciation, tweet him out, leave a comment for him, let him know how much you appreciate him, because without Connor we would not be here with this wonderful podcast. And I'm thankful that he's given us a platform to discuss. We have a lot of different opinions, but one thing that we do have in common is we are very passionate about AEW, and we are very passionate about the show. So Connor, thank you very much. You are amazing and a good friend and a great producer. Thank you.
Yeah, it's somebody's gonna have to get kicked off the chat.
Oh no! Somebody fighting down the comment section.
Yeah.
Oh, lordy.
Oh, come on, Ethan. Don't go. You guys really?
Can we be friends?
Oh, no.
What's going on in the chat?
I don't know.
Well, David and Ethan, if you don't cut that out, you're gonna have to go one on two with the Undertaker.
Shout out to the chat too, man. Thank y'all, man, for tuning in with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have so much fun interacting with the chat.
The chat cracks me up, and it felt we saw it yesterday in the Dynamite when someone said it's great to see me back, and I appreciate that. So, but it's also great talking to all you guys, because like Lane said, like, we all share that passion for AEW. Like, I lost it a long time ago because WWE wasn't, and then AEW came around, and now I found a wrestling family now. So I couldn't ask for a better thing to do than be a part of this podcast. So, and thank you, Connor, for reaching out to me and asking me if I wanted to do it. So I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah. You guys are all awesome. Just
always
remember that.
I like having everyone on. Everyone we've had on. I don't pick just anyone to be on. I really look deep and hard and really tell that they're a real AEW fan, like not just anyone. And I feel like you guys were best selections to pick from, like the best people to have on this podcast.
Yeah.
Smart man.
I remember like when I got that message, and I was super curious to see what it was about, and I'm so glad I accepted it, man.
Yeah, here.
Stuff like you guys fighting in the comment section. This is our anniversary.
Going to war in the chat.
You don't want to get into a loser leaves town match like me and Connor almost had.
Yeah, something made it in something
hair versus hair match. That'd be funny.
Hair versus hair match.
Yeah, I can't be in that match, as you can see. I just.
Well, I think Adam lost then.
I'm out.
Or actually, no, Adam. We could do a beard versus beard match.
No. I'm not putting this online on anything, man.
He's not giving that up.
I'm not giving it up, man. I'll forfeit. I'll just leave town. I don't care.
He took time at that one. He ain't letting it go.
What would that be? Would that be like an electric razor on a pole match, or what would that be?
Electrical razor.
Insert
Book
on a pole match.
That's
almost
a 10
match right there. It just books itself.
It books itself, exactly.
Match right there.
It's one of those things like it's so weird that those matches like come about. Like the whole like I still laugh about the Dominic, custody on a pole match. Or
that was silly.
How about the
Bagwell's mom
match? The Kettle from Hell match, like between Al Snow and who was a Big Boss Man.
Yes, Big Boss Man. That match was so bad.
Everywhere. The dogs didn't do anything.
They weren't trained at all. They just kind of walked around like they were, domesticated dogs, like at home. They were just walking around taking shit.
It was bad. Like, it was gross and bad. It was almost as bad as when we did one of the WCW streams, and it was Hogan versus the Big Boss Man in just a one-on-one match. And I can't remember what his name is in WCW. But when people complain about how many botches are in AEW, like, go back and watch that match and tell me that there was not a lot more botches than what you would see on a normal Dynamite or WWE show now.
He was watching WCW Nitro. was a good match and all. It was Randy Savage versus Lex Luger, I believe. Then out of
Yeah, Lex
nowhere,
Luger.
all I hear is, "Let me tell you something, brother," and he just ruined the whole vibe. Like,
Yeah, Hulk Hogan's got to make it about himself.
it was
He's
a
got to
good
make it
match.
about
It was a good
himself.
match
Yeah.
and everything, and all I hear is, "Well, let me tell you something, brother." Just ruined the whole
I think
vibe.
Hogan was one of the most, most
But
selfish
it's
people in
it's
wrestling.
hard to believe, but his New Japan stuff was on another level. Like I seen something on Twitter where he was doing a lot of moves you don't see.
Yeah, he was actually doing
Really?
wrestling moves in New Japan.
What? No way.
Big boot and a leg drop. So I did.
No, like hulking up, brother. He actually does like a suplex.
Well, I seen
He
something
actually
on,
did. He actually did wrestling
Hold
moves.
on.
I mean, it was kind of crazy to see. But in America, he he gives you the Hulk up. He gives you the big boot and then the leg drop. 1, 2, 3. That's it.
And then he says, "Eat your vitamins. Good
So
night,
speaking of New
children."
Japan, did anyone read up on articles saying that Sasha Banks is going to be at New Japan Pro Wrestling?
I heard
Wrestle
that.
Kingdom?
I've
I
heard
did see
about that.
that.
Wrestling
I didn't hear
Kingdom
that.
15.
No, that's news to me.
Yes,
That's
I
gonna
just
be-
read it. I read it today because apparently there's a rumor going on that because they've just started that whole promotion with Stardom as well. That New Japan is working with Stardom right now, and Kara Sane, who used to be Kara Sane,
Yeah.
is their women's
Yeah.
champion
Yeah.
right now. So apparently the rumor is that Sasha Banks may be wrestling her at the Wrestle Kingdom 17.
That would be
Oh,
awesome.
snap.
And then you
That's
tie
what I
bring
read.
her back in for
That's what I read.
AEW, maybe.
Huh.
And like I
Yeah.
said, I kind of don't trust dirt sheets, but I mean, a lot of people were saying it.
Do not
But you
do
look
not
at,
trade.
but you look at her
Yeah.
her social media. She's been training with like Juventud Guerrero. She's been training with Bandito. Like Sasha Banks has been doing all this stuff with, the like almost like lucha libre wrestlers. So and Wrestle Kingdom,
She's got
I don't know how
that
it's going to transition.
I'm not trying to get my hopes up for the January 11th Dynamite for who Soraya's mystery opponent is going to be. But the fact that it's promoted so far out, the fact that they had Kiera Hogan already facing Jade, the only people who I think it could be and who are going to actually live up to the hype, or the only person who I think it could be that will not cause a meltdown on Twitter would be Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be Tony
Yeah.
Storm, but
Yeah.
I like
but-
Tony.
Yeah.
I feel like
I mean,
they
I can
really
see it being either.
Yeah, we were talking about this last night. It's AJ
It's
Lee
open to
because
Yeah, we were talking about that.
because
too.
AJ Lee's last match was
Yeah.
against Paige, right? So,
Yeah.
but if AJ Lee's coming, Punk's coming back.
I don't
Yeah.
see that.
Right.
Punk's not
You could
coming
also-
back. He's not
you could
coming back.
also-
It's not going to happen.
No.
It's not happening.
Oh, I cannot
not.
have this discussion right
Well,
now.
Never say
I-
never.
I think it's really.
Nothing. Like you, I feel like you're just looking into the stars for any sign if that he's coming back. If she does, it's not. It's not. It's not happening. They
he-
took him off the cover of Fight Forever. It's not
Well,
happening.
he's still in the game actually. He's still gonna.
Yeah, he's
be-
in the game still.
Off the cover.
I think
But
Cody
yeah, I
Rhodes
wonder if
is
it's
on
gonna be
the
Chris
game, isn't he?
Statlander. Because
Yeah.
she
Statlander.
finishing up her injury. Because think about it, like it should be.
I was going to say maybe it's Thunder Rosa, a returning Thunder Rosa from injury.
Yeah, she's, that's another one that's coming up from
yeah,
injury that
that's-
should be close.
What was
It's
Yeah.
Statlander
January,
out
February.
with?
I
ACL.
think torn ACL.
I think she tore her ACL, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I believe
that's
so.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she tore one ACL the first time, and then this last time she tore the opposite ACL.
She's a tall girl too. She's very
But
tall.
look how
so
many
those
women she
ACLs
put over and gave them like the best matches. Some of them were not the safest of wrestlers to work with.
True.
You know? She's
Yeah,
like I
I
said,
think-
she was the workhorse before Tony Storm.
Mm.
I think that
That's fair to say.
I think if Statlander comes back, it's probably going to be facing Jade right away, because for some ungodly reason, Tony Khan decided, 9-month injury, we'll wait for you to get this title.
That's what they're doing. Like they're gonna wait and have her be the one. Which I want her to be the next
Which is
TBS
not
champion.
smart.
But I feel like you
But they
can't
got-
just wait 9 months like that.
But like they got, well, it is possible to come back earlier than that. Seth Rollins did it like really, really early. He is possible, but I would be maybe putting it on Ruby Soho or Sheeta.
I would have put it on Athena.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think not putting on Athena was a misstep.
I think
Like
Athena's
unless
lined up.
Athena
I think
wins the
Athena's
Rumble.
lined up. Yeah, I was gonna say Athena's probably lined
Yeah.
up to win the ROH title. I think.
Yeah, if
You know.
Athena
Yeah,
wins the
I
ROH
think
title, then
that's
I'm fine
gonna
with
happen
that.
now.
Oh. I can go for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a
And
crazy
honestly-
night next year for sure.
I honestly thought Serena Deeb would win a title this year, and she didn't. Like, and
Yeah,
she
I'm
put in a
surprised
lot
by
of
that.
work.
That was surprising.
Her professor character is so good. It was so over. Like, I was
She
just so
deserves
waiting
it.
for her to win the
Yeah.
title. You know, I mean, she had the NWA. Was it the NWA Women's title she had for a while?
Yeah, she had that.
Yeah.
She won
Yeah.
She had that for a
from,
while. So
She should have been lined up to have the ROH title, I think.
I mean, either
Yeah.
that or the TBS title. I mean, you could have
Right.
thrown her. She could have
because
been the
she
one
could
to
literally
take
made
it
her the
from
workhorse of that division. And
I feel
actually
like
yeah.
the TBS
did better
I
for
feel
the
like
whole
TBS
division. Then
I thought the TBS tells just a prop for Jade at this point. Like how long
It
they
is.
kept it on her, like just a prop for her.
I just wonder.
it's
I
a
wonder what
holiday
you do with
damage
Jade
reputation.
once Jade doesn't have the title.
But
in
what she
freaking
does
Hard.
is,
Mm.
I'm not gonna.
I know.
It's someone's on Rena Shavir, like, and I don't agree with Jim Cornell on many things, but he said this. She's married to Roderick Strong, like one of the best persons to get trained by. If she doesn't get it by Roderick Strong, she's not getting it in AEW. She went to NXT, she didn't get it there.
No.
Performance Center, she didn't get it there. How else do we fix this? Like, she's been in NXT, she's married to Roderick Strong,
Yeah.
didn't get it in WWE.
And
mean, I
she's
don't
not
know.
listening to Punk or Danielson or
I feel like Dustin
Hmm.
Rose
Who's that?
Dustin Rose is his it's in Texas, his wrestling school would be good.
yeah, he's got his Rhodes or what is it called? I think it's like Rhodes Family or something like that, or night because
I think it's like the Rhodes Academy or something.
yeah, Rhodes, I think, yeah, because send her there, send her to QT.
But people act like
Who
I
are we
hate
talking about?
Dustin Rhodes'
Maria?
wrestling school.
Oh, Marina?
Yeah,
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
she's
right-
never she's never gonna learn how to wrestle. What are you talking about?
well, like I was saying,
Never
like,
happening.
but
My
like I
God,
was
she doesn't
saying-
have it by now. She's never gonna get it.
yeah, like I'm saying that, like Marina's.
I
married
hate
to
to-
Roderick
I hate
You've
to-
seen her.
And like I know we never agree on Jim Cornette stuff, but he said like she's married to Roderick Strong. She's not getting. He's the best person to get trained by. One of the best wrestlers. She's not getting it there. She was in WWE. She didn't get it there at the Performance Center. She didn't get it in NXT. She's for sure not getting it now in AEW. But there's plenty of good people. William Regal, Danielson. So many great people to get trained by.
She
And
needs to
that-
go
that's
back to
not-
mixed martial arts.
I feel like she's trying
Yeah,
to.
no,
Yeah,
she was-
but
or no,
how many
bring that
bites of
needs
shit
to
apple
over.
do you
take a-
get? You know.
But like
I mean,
people
Take a
trying to.
pickleball.
But like a lot of
Badminton,
people,
something.
a lot of people
that's
try
not
to make it personal,
this.
and that like I hate the
I'm
person
so
Marina.
sorry for her.
I don't hate Marina as a person. It's
I'm
just
sure she's nice. Maybe.
It's
Yeah,
just
I'm
her
not-
I feel like
She's
a lot
just
of-
not a good wrestler. That's all.
I mean,
Hey,
some
I'm not
people-
either.
you don't-
Most
you
of
don't-
us
you don't-
aren't.
Yeah, a lot of people don't transition well from a sport to another sport. I mean that's it. There's some that do. Like, I hate to say it, Brock Lesnar kind of did pretty well transitioning from from actually football. He actually did football and amateur wrestling, and then went to WWE, and then he went to MMA, won the title there, and came back, and he still had what he had. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, but there's
Mhm.
some people like Marina Shafir, and when she first came in,
Ronda
Ronda Rousey got it down pretty well,
Yeah.
but now she's just like going through the motions. It looks like she doesn't even want to be there. She's just there
Right.
for a check. So it's kind of like some people
think
like
it's
I
'cause,
understand like we say we have nothing against the person. It's just how they do it in that profession. That profession's
Mhm.
probably not for you.
and I'm pretty
Exactly.
sure.
Or do what
but
Cal
Brock is-
Shamrock did.
Just taking
Brock
up
is
TV
good.
time that
Be
Ricky
that
Starks
UFC
could be
fighter
on.
in your matches.
Yeah, that's true.
Good point,
Brock
Carl.
like is a great actual amateur wrestler. Marina Shafir, Ronda Rousey are not like that. That's
Yeah.
why they're. That's why
Brock is a freak of
transitioned so well.
nature. That's what he is.
Brock is. He's also just insane. Yeah, I love Brock Lesnar's work.
Have you ever guys heard about Wade Barrett's thing on Brock Lesnar? Like a story about Brock Lesnar.
Yes,
I haven't heard
that
it.
was great.
Oh my
If you get a
God.
chance, go watch it, Mr. Jacobs. It's
That kid was
hilarious.
crazy. Like following Brock around
You don't
and
follow a giant
into
man
the-
that size
into
in
the
You
bathroom.
don't follow a giant around.
and like into the
Oh my
bathroom.
God.
Then
Oh, I
That-
did hear this story. I heard the story whenever he yelled at a kid for going into the bathroom with him.
You don't mess with Brock. I don't care if he's a wrestler.
Why would you go into the
UFC
bathroom
fighter.
with him anyway? That's what just weird.
Anybody that size, don't follow them into the bathroom. Or don't follow him in general.
Don't follow anyone in the bathroom.
Just leave people alone. Period. Just don't follow
It's
anyone.
Bad
Police-
karma, man. It's just bad karma.
At least if you're gonna approach him, don't do it that way. Like it was Wade Barrett and all them at the gym, and then they were getting ready to leave, and Brock went to the restroom, and this creepy kid just acts so weird and tries to no one's seeing him. Then he goes into the bathroom, and then Wade Barrett was like, "We should have told him something." They knew something bad was gonna happen, and all they heard was,
selection at that point.
do you know what a Brock Lesnar said?
I know he cussed him out. I'm not sure
I'm not
exactly what he
gonna say
said.
It was.
I
I know
really
he cussed the little
bad.
kid out.
Yeah, but at that point, that's natural selection. Kid's got to learn
But
somehow. He might be dead.
What
but
you
he's
think
gotta
was going to
learn somehow.
happen? You know.
Get suplexed through the wall. I
Probably
just
got
imagine
beat
that Incredibles meme.
Oh,
It gets
we're trying to
F5
find out.
F5 down the window. Just have Brock Lesnar just pick up one of the machines and just sit on his legs gently so he can't move. Just walk out.
Right. Just walk off.
I'm sorry, everyone, but I have to get going right now. It's been
Hey,
fun
man,
talking.
we appreciate you having on. Thank you, man, for being a part of this 1 year episode with us.
Aiden.
You're great, man.
Oh yeah,
Thanks
man.
again,
Thanks for
man.
stopping in, man.
Love you.
I'll see
Yeah,
if,
best of luck to you. Best of luck to you
thank you.
transferring schools, bud.
Thanks. I'll try. I'll see if I can be on tomorrow. I probably will be able to. I don't think I have.
I should be able to be on tomorrow too.
I'll be procrastinating my studying for finals, but at this point, it does not matter. So
Uh-oh.
I will see y'all tomorrow then.
All right, man.
All right,
care.
man.
Thanks
Take
again,
care.
man. This has been a fun show. Kind of
How
started
about
off a
20?
little.
Yeah.
Having a torn ACL hurts.
My mom's had it twice,
Oh.
and she did what
Oof.
Thunder Rosa did. She hurt it, and then she hurt her.
I'm
second
trying to
one.
sit here. It's just painful sitting here.
Aren't you hurt with your
Yeah.
ACL?
Huh?
Didn't you break your ACL or hurt your ACL?
ACL and MCL.
What did you do?
Yeah. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Drop kick someone.
I prefer to tell everyone off camera because it's
Oh, dang.
very stupid.
Oh, I got you. I got
He
you.
just- he
I've
just-
been
he
through the same
broke
injury.
kicked,
I was playing football when that happened, like when I was in high school.
Garner just bro kicked to the guy that was hacking into our account a couple months ago. Found out who it was and just bro kicked him.
He said
As
vicious
one
things.
does.
Ouch.
He just bro kicked it too hard. All right. Well, hey, it's been a great first show. Thank you guys so much for being a part of our awesome night. Make sure you guys, check out Talking Elite every week, hosted by myself. I'm going to try to have as many, people on our show as possible so we can just have great conversations, different topics every week. Don't forget to watch our Rampage stream along tomorrow night. And then don't forget to check out next Wednesday. We're going to be having our show for Wednesday. And don't forget, Monday, we're doing the watch along, or is it Tuesday?
Monday.
Monday.
Mondays. Yeah, that's when I want to do it.
Yeah, so either Monday or Tuesday, we'll continue our CM Punk watch along. Don't forget to subscribe.
Wait, what's the CM Punk watch
Sorry.
along? Oh, I'll ask that later. Sorry.
You're good. We did we watched Best in the World. We watched Best in the World and streamed our reactions with it, and had a great conversation about Punk and how things are kind of mirrored now.
There's a lot of things I didn't know about CM Punk in that documentary. There's a lot of things you
Yeah,
don't.
it was a
I'll
really
have to
good
come by
show.
for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Yeah, Carly, you should.
do you does
Considering
anyone
your
have Peacock?
feelings on Punk.
Does anyone have Peacock, like the streaming service?
No.
I do.
It's
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
It's on Peacock. CM Punk Best in the World. There's a lot of things about Punk I didn't know. He has a family, but it's not actually his biological family. Like
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
and like how he went straight edge with his character. Like his real life is his character. He transitioned like drug free, all that into his character, and it's
Mm-hmm.
he basically put everything in his life. Well, and it becomes a lot of like Roddy Piper and
Yeah.
stuff from. But it's a great documentary. A lot of things I didn't
It was
know
great.
about. A lot of things I didn't know about CM Punk, and a lot of things that if it wasn't for Paul Heyman, he wouldn't have made it this far.
Yeah, Paul Heyman
Sure.
definitely helped his career for sure, big time.
Interesting.
Yeah, so follow us on Twitter,
Yeah.
subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to us on Spotify, Podbeam. We're going to be uploading different shows, our different interviews, more on that this coming year. So thank you guys for being a part of our All Elite Zone Talking Elite episode number 1. Happy anniversary. Take care, guys. Have a good night. Connor, sign us off.
Hit that like and bell. Hit it.
Well, that's it.
Subscribe. Buy merch.
Subscribe.
Hey, buy merch.
Join us.
Ding the bell. Ding the bell.
Ding it.
Yeah, you pretty much said it all. We'll see you guys Friday for Rampage. Tomorrow for Rampage.
Take
Thanks
care,
for watching, everyone. Peace.
Bye.